I thought I would talk about my fitness and health journey. I know I've gotten some requests on how I got started and all of that, so I figured I would make a video about it and explain. So this video might be pretty boring because it's just basically gonna be me talking in front of the camera. So here it goes. I grew up in Colorado, this little town called Windsor, which was right next to Fort Collins. I don't know if you guys know where that is, but that is where I am from. We only had about maybe 1,500 kids. I may be wrong, but it was pretty small. So throughout my life, my parents, obviously parents are huge influences to their kids. And I'm lucky enough that mine were always very healthy and active. In 2009, they did bodybuilding together. They competed. So needless to say, they have loved the fitness and nutrition industry for as long as I've known them. So growing up, we always kind of ate really healthy, and I always went to the gym when I could. When I turned like 15 or whatever the age was that you could work out, I was with them. So we would go to Gold's Gym after the school day, or we had an at-home gym as well. So I actually remember the first time I did cardio was on our elliptical. My Nana was upstairs visiting, and we were looking at a fitness magazine, and she was like, well, these girls must do a lot of cardio. And I was like, really? Well, I want to do it. And so I actually ran downstairs and did like 20 minutes on the elliptical. And I got off and I ran upstairs. I was like, Nana, I feel skinnier. I was like, do I look skinnier? Look at my pants. Like, do I look good? And so they kind of laughed at me. I literally had no idea anything about what went into weight loss or anything like that. So my high school had off-campus lunch, so we would go and eat at Taco Bell every day, McDonald's every day, KFC. We basically ate out every single day. So I wasn't too healthy back then, but kind of around my sophomore year of high school, I started to get a little bit of my parents' habits. So I would bring like a baggie of almonds to school or something like that. And I would get looked at so weird in class because I was like pulling out almonds and eating them, and my friends were like, this girl's a health nut. And it's so funny because that's what made me a health nut, was the almonds, bringing to class, and the fact that I would work out with my parents after school. I don't want to get into this too much, but my dad used to own like a bunch of car dealerships. GM and Chrysler went bankrupt that year. And so they chose certain dealerships to put down. And unfortunately, my dad's dealerships were some of the ones that they chose. And so we put all of our money into that thinking it would work, and it didn't. So overall, we had to move. We went bankrupt. We lost our house, our cars, everything. Middle of my junior year, we ended up moving to Arizona. And I was actually really, really happy because, well, okay, let's backtrack a little bit. So a few months before that, my parents had competed. My mom did figure, and that was actually the first year that bikini came out. Bikini is like just grown so much in each division now. I mean, every competition is just getting bigger and bigger, I feel like. So she competed in that a few times. My dad did bodybuilding, and then a few months later we ended up moving. That was the middle of my junior year. We ended up moving to Arizona, and I kind of felt like my whole world was crashing. I had just gotten a new boyfriend in Colorado. I was just elected for homecoming queen or whatever that is. Things were like the best they'd ever been for me in my life. I had like a bunch of friends in all these different grades in high school, and life was really good. I was on the dance team, and it was great. I had everything I wanted. So basically it just all shattered, and we had a lot going on. I felt like everything was going crazy around me, and the only thing I could control was my food and my working out. So basically that's what I controlled. I picked up Oxygen magazine and I lived by that magazine. The whole 6 meals a day, eating clean, working out, lifting 6 days a week, that's what I did. And I started doing that and eating cleaner and cleaner, and I noticed my pant sizes would drop drastically, and I was like, oh man, this is awesome. I was never big or fat or whatever. I was normal. Like I feel like I was the same throughout my whole life and never lost or gained or worried about it or anything. I noticed more and more weight loss, and so I kept going and I kept going and I kept going, and it just became like an obsession to me, like a scary obsession. Like we would go out to eat and I would get like lettuce and dressing on the side, and I would basically just eat that, and I wouldn't even eat protein really because I thought it like bulked me up. Something, I don't know, my mind, it was just so weird. Like I would drink black coffee every day, and I would have no salt on anything, no dressing, literally so clean. And I would make sure that I ate every 2 hours. Like I had my days timed out, like 6 a.m., 8 a.m., 10 a.m., like everything was so clocked out. And it got to the point where I even cut out high energy carbs like oatmeal and bread and rice, and so I was basically eating like vegetables. And I would go, I used to work at Hollister's, so I would bring my food in, and like I would tell the manager, like, I have to eat right now. Like I'm going to get my snack and I'm going to eat it right now because I have to, like I'm going to gain fat. That's literally my mindset. That was my mindset back in the day, that if I didn't eat at that 2 hour mark, I was like gonna get fat. I don't know. Anyways, it was a crazy obsession, and my life was basically miserable because of it. I couldn't do anything. Like I wouldn't allow myself to enjoy anything. And then anytime there would be junk food around me, I would feel like so eager about it. Like I would want it so bad. So sometimes I would allow myself to have it and I would eat the whole thing. Like there would be a pizza out and I would let everyone like get their slice, and then I'd go eat the rest of the whole pizza. So it'd be like, 8 pieces left, and I would eat that. And it wasn't like a binge and purge thing. Like I never threw up or anything like that. It was just I ate very, very clean and felt very restricted. So I would binge when the time allowed, which obviously is not healthy at all. And I felt like some days my body was breaking down. Like I had no energy for anything. And if I skipped a workout, I couldn't do it. I would, like if it was at 11 p.m. at night and I hadn't worked out that day, I would go work out. And it was just crazy. It was mentally exhausting, and I wouldn't wish it upon anyone because I drove away all my friends at that point, and people were contacting my siblings like, I've been praying for Taylor, like hope she's okay. Like it was just a bad time in my life, and I was depressed. And looking back on it, at the time I didn't think I had a problem, but looking back on it, I obviously did. And I know now that it was like my way of controlling the situation, because my world around me was insane and I had just lost my whole world. So needless to say, we moved to Indiana my senior year, and that was when I came here and I made a bunch of new friends, and I broke up with my boyfriend. I kind of just broke off all ties to that past life and made a new life and started going out with friends and had the best senior year ever. So it was an awesome year. I kind of got rid of a lot of my anxiety about food and working out, and I just had fun and let go. that's basically that point in my life. I started getting over that. I started dating this wonderful guy named Steve 4 years ago. He's still in my life today. But yeah, so I went to college. I maintained a healthy lifestyle throughout college. Obviously, I would go out drinking with my friends and still did that, but still made it to the gym and still ate healthy, but I enjoyed every aspect of each lives, and I always knew I wanted to compete in bodybuilding competitions ever since my family did it, so I kind of wanted to wait until I was done and graduated with and didn't have to worry about school, because Purdue, for me, coming into like Indiana is very hard. I had to be with it at all times because otherwise I would fail miserably. So needless to say, I didn't start training for my competition until the very last part of my senior year at Purdue. Also, dietetics is a very rigorous program. And then finally went into my first bikini bodybuilding competition, which was in Chicago this past July, a few months ago. So I decided to work really, really hard, try to put on as much muscle as I could, and compete in a show August 29th, which was a few weeks ago. My second one went really well. I'm hoping to keep climbing the ranks. I really do love competing. I think it's an awesome sport to go out there and show people how hard you've worked, and I think it just sort of celebrates the fitness community. The next step is to compete in junior nationals in June, and that's where I'm at right now. I'm trying to gain muscle in the areas I need to gain muscle. That's kind of my story. Sorry if this was a little bit boring for you all. I just wanted to make a video about this to get to know me a little bit more, and who's making these random fitness health vlogs. If you guys have any other questions for me, or if you have any suggestions on future videos, let me know, write a comment. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you guys next week.